One thing you might have noticed is that in a single line of Python, whitespace doesn't really affect how your code works. For example, this will give exactly the same output as this. However, that doesn't mean that these lines are equally good lines of code. Learning how to write clear and readable code is critical for others in your company and future you to understand. Here are some best practices for code style in Python. When you call a function like print, put the opening parentheses straight after the name of the function, like here. Not like this. Don't put extra spaces immediately inside the parentheses either. So this is good, but this isn't. If you are mixing operators with different priorities, like multiplication and subtraction, then you might like to add a space around the lower priority, in this case subtraction, to make the code easier to read. See how this is slightly harder to comprehend for operation order? Don't write extremely long lines of code. They're hard to understand. People commonly limit themselves to lines that are 79 or 99 characters long. If you feel like you need to write longer lines, consider rewriting, simplifying, or separating your code into multiple lines. These conventions come from the Python Developer's Guide, which has a style guide called PEP 8, which is linked below. There's a lot in there. Don't worry, you don't need to digest it all now. Why are these conventions important? Although how you format the code doesn't affect how it runs, following standard style guidelines makes code easier to read and consistent among different developers on a team. So it's a good idea to follow the guidelines even with one-line expressions. It will be useful to refer back to PEP 8 once in a while to get your Python style right. Later, we'll also learn about tools that can check your code for you and provide suggestions based on PEP 8 guidelines.